Now it is my pleasure to introduce you to a young graduate of Coro's Exploring Leadership program, Karen Garcia, to share the impact of the choral experience has had on her life.
I am not from myself. I am from my complicated parents, from who I learned to be, from which I pass on, from which my siblings see. I am from words like, cabrona, no sabes hacer nada. You don't know how to do anything. To, no digas, hazlo. Do not say, do. And ponte las pilas. Get your stuff together. I am from what my family believes is important, from religion to traditions. I am from what teaches me. I am from schools that teach me to be someone I don't want to be. I am from what taught me who I am supposed to be. This is my story. Good afternoon. My name is Karen Sarai Garcia Lopez. I'm 17 years old, a senior at Balboa High School, and a 2015 graduate of the Coro Exploring Leadership Youth Program. I originally wrote this poem as a class assignment. It represents my foundation, my family. They brought me into existence. 23 years ago, my parents, Pedro and Imelda, left Jalisco, Mexico for a better life. They risked their lives trying to cross the border. The first 4 times, they went to jail, got out, and went back at it. Each time, putting their lives on the line. Dehydrated and exhausted. My mom felt like she was going to die. On the 5th time, they finally made it into the United States, alive. When they arrived, they spent 2 years as migrant workers before coming to San Francisco. They experienced discrimination, even by our own family, and were always afraid of getting caught. But they pushed forward for the life they wanted for my siblings and me. Growing up, my parents were loving but strict. They wanted the best for us, but also worried about appearances. They didn't want people to know that we had struggled with life in America. My mom often said to me, calladita te ves más bonita. When I am quiet, I look more beautiful. In school, I never raised my hand because I never thought I had anything valuable to say. But when I was younger, I used to tell my mother that I wanted to become a princess. When I turned 15, I had a quinceañera, a traditional Latino celebration. It was not something that we could afford, but this event was really special. It meant that I was becoming a woman. It felt like this was my opportunity to be noticed. All eyes on me. Even if that meant wearing loads of makeup, a pink poofy dress, and a tiara. During my junior year, I learned about power, privilege, and oppression. And for the first time in my life, I heard stories that helped me understand that I have power. I applied to Coro because I was curious about exploring my personal leadership, because I never thought or saw myself as a leader. At Coro, I was encouraged to get out of my comfort zone by speaking often. I was asked to facilitate one of the largest projects of the summer, our grant proposal on homelessness. We had 4 hours to finish the grant and present it to a panel of funders. It was a really difficult task, but I felt supported by the trainers and the other youth fellows. I couldn't believe we accomplished the proposal. Also, while at Coro, another youth fellow and I interned at the San Francisco Mental Health Education Fund. Our project was to research the stigma behind mental health services and report on how youth find out about them. This was my first job experience. I was really intimidated and let my male partner take the lead. I had ideas, but I had a lot of fear to share them because I just assumed his ideas were better. My internship supervisor, Helena Brooke, noticed that I wasn't stepping up. She sat me down, looked me straight in the eye, and said, "I believe in you. You can do this on your own." No one had ever talked to me like that. Until that summer at Coro, no one had ever told me I could do something like that on my own, that I was capable and that I have a voice. It was a wake-up call I truly desired. It was at that moment I stopped doubting myself. I interviewed my friends on accessing mental health services. One admitted to cutting herself, and another was depressed. I was in shock by what I learned and took the project one step further by coming up with solutions on how to make mental health services more accessible. I presented my findings to the Mental Health Board, and it was rewarding. Although my Coro experience was only 8 weeks long, it changed the course of my life. For the first time, I felt that I was in control. I took risks. Instead of stepping away from things that I thought were hard, I was walking right into them. I've learned that when I speak up, people value what I have to say. Now, I tell my mom that I want to make my own choices. And it's not because I don't respect the way that she taught me to be, but because I want to feel like I could do things on my own. This isn't easy, and it never will be, but I also don't want this to be my weakness. In the fall, I will be the first generation in my family to go to college. Although I do not know what the future holds for me, thanks to Coro, I am no longer afraid and know I'm free to make my own decisions. This is who I am. This is who I want to be. And this is who I am supposed to be. Thank you.